It's a pleasure and happiness to be present amidst this August gathering. Uh, I'm joined by the management team of BlueStone, Access Capital, and my fellow BRLMs to welcome you all for the press meet of this IPO. Along with me on the dais, representing the management of BlueStone, is the Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Gaurav Singh Kushwaha, CFO of the company, Rumit Dugar. I'm personally excited and professionally, thrilled. Because very rarely we come across few companies which has a lot of things going for it. And in BlueStone, we had an opportunity to work with one such company. Basis the deep research which Redseer has done, if I were to kind of look for a company which is growing the fastest in the segment, yet having the highest gross margins in the segment, here we are talking about the jewelry segment, then we have a BlueStone. In a time wherein everyone is talking about a consumption slowdown, and I'm looking for a company which is having a 30% plus same-store sales growth, again we have a BlueStone. With nearly 298 million online sessions and 275 odd offline stores, someone is delivering a seamless omni-channel experience, again we have a BlueStone. The list goes on, and I don't want to kind of steal the thunder of the management. I will let them double click on the same. Before that, few headline numbers which I thought let me just share with you. The issue opens for anchors on 8th of August, which is Friday. It's opening on Monday, 11th of August, and closes on 13th. The price band is 492 to 517, and cumulatively at the higher end of the price point, we will be raising around 1,541 odd crores, of which 820 would be primary. With no further ado, let me just request the management team to walk you through the company. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Excited to be here in your presence today. So I'll take you through some of the data points, some of the data points from our RHP, and I will take any questions subsequently. Offer summary, I think I will already explained as I move to the next slide. For business overview, so we are one of the fastest growing omni-channel jewelry company in the country. We started in 2012 as an online only brand, pivoted to omni-channel model, realized that for most of the people who are browsing online, most of those people were not comfortable making high value purchases online, but they were potential buyers. They were the ones who were allured by those designs, who actually really liked those designs that they were browsing, and that they would need the support of an offline store to kind of finally convert. So a quick glimpse of the metrics. We FY25 we closed with 17,700 crore. Our revenue CAGR for last 3 years has been 51.5%. Gross margins, we boast of highest gross margins in the category in the industry of around 38%. Same store sales growth of 32%. We closed the year with 275 stores. And we have almost 298 million online sessions. Online is where most of our users primarily engage with us, eventually converting stores for majority of them. But the primary engagement, the primary touch pointing starts happening online. So we at a very fundamental level, we remain highly focused on online, and that is what we believe is driving all the growth and all the business for us. So key milestones, we incorporated the company in 2011, 2012 we launched it online, and then we kept on expanding throughout 2015. Before that, we established our first manufacturing facility in 2000. We started work on that in 2012, 2013 it was fully established. The idea behind that was kind of very core to our way of doing business at that time. We realized that as we were offering more and more of designs, and if we wanted to maintain that design supremacy, it was very important to kind of control the manufacturing also. And I think it is playing out not only for us, but for a lot of D2C brands that have now come up in the last 2 to 3 years across different categories, not just jewelry. I think a lot of people are understanding that controlling manufacturing is very essential to to offer differentiated designs, differentiated offerings, and that a lot of game has now moved over to the design supremacy and not just, let's say, marketing or brand messaging. So across categories, people are doing that, something that we realized back in 2012, 2013 itself, and started doing it. 2015, we expanded our manufacturing facility, and then in 2018 was when we opened our first omnichannel store. That was in Pacific Mall in Rajori Garden in Delhi. And we very quickly saw that omnichannel in that particular catchment was actually giving a lot of strength to the business. And so we started expanding on it very aggressively post that. And and then after that, we started expanding stores very aggressively, and we closed the last year with 275 stores. This is so basically our revenue CAGR from FY22 to 24, which is a part of DRHP, we grew at around 65.6%, driven by both distribution growth and very strong same-store sales growth. Gross margins, I already spoke about it. We're best of the class. Essentially, I think from the time of inception, one of the things we realized that given the traditional nature of the category, given the historical reasons, a lot of the incumbents stayed focused on very heavy or wedding jewelry. So if you go back 20-30 years, wedding jewelry was a very dominant component of the overall jewelry sector. Could have been 80-90% also. But as our lifestyles changed, as we moved from joint families to nuclear families, as we moved from, let's say, non-working women to working women, a lot of those jewelry preferences were changing. The use cases were changing. We're not kind of attending, let's say, 10 marriages in a year, 10 big family functions in a year. Instead, those were replaced by, let's say, 20-30 small functions, friends gathering, and so on and so forth. So a lot of, I think, fundamentals were changing in the category, but the incumbents were not kind of moving with that. And so we saw a very strong space in the entire non-wedding segment, which was already reasonably sized, and it's also growing at a pretty strong pace. So if you look at the market size out there, essentially in all totality, more than 50% of the market now is non-wedding. At the same time, the offerings in the market have not kind of changed in line with that, and hence we stay very focused on non-wedding segment, daily wear, occasion wear, and occasion wear essentially, let's say you have an evening outing to go to, you have a birthday in your friend circle, and so on. So the kind of dresses you wear for that, and the kind of jewelry that goes with that, that remains a focus, and it is also a faster growing sub-segment of the overall. And given that within this, we also realize the importance of designs. As people are using internet more and more to browse, the importance of design is increasing that much more. Gone are the days when you would actually just walk into a jewelry store cold and ask them, what do you have? Right? These days, people have access to internet. People have access to the offerings that a brand or a store is already doing, that they would want to be informed. They would want to know before walking into a store what are the kind of offerings that you give, and hence the role of design to pull in people into your stores has increased that much more. Without internet, it was all about market. It was all about communication. So if someone would just do a print ad saying that we have great designs and we have no making charges, you would believe that, walk into the store and then choose from whatever is available there. These days on internet, when you actually do any marketing, people just click on that, come to your website and actually see you for who you are. And hence the importance of designs and differentiated designs is that much more. And hence our focus on creating, and some of these collections that you see on the website or on the slide highlights that. These are the kind of jewelry designs which you would realize are not something which is very common in the country. And these have worked very well for us, and we continue to remain very design focused. I've already spoken about most of these. We are a vertically integrated company, so all the way from designing to manufacturing, everything is done in-house. Unlike most of the players in the category, where they are more of retail brands and the actual product is created by someone else, we continue to handle all the aspects of the business ourselves. In fact, on top of that, even the tech stack that powers everything was built in-house. So all the technology, whether it's website, order management system, warehouse management system, point of sale, apps, factory management system, everything is built in-house. And that powers this entire full stack model and gives it the efficiency. And just double clicking on the omni-channel experience, I think we have built all sorts of omni-channel funnels. Some of these things are kind of become very complicated for people who are not that tech savvy, because their point of sale system is provided by someone else, inventory management is provided by someone else, website is powered by Shopify or something else. In our case, that is not the in our case, everything is going good. We are a very kind of tech focused and technologically strong company. So all sorts of use cases and all sorts of needs have been built. So essentially, the cases where you actually browse online, then you want to see in which store, and let's say you have 2 or 3 stores nearby you. So on the website itself, you can see which design is present in which stores. You can browse designs specifically in a particular store. You can click on that page itself and talk to store, or you can order a design, and if the design is present, let's say in a store which is 3 kilometers from your house, it will be delivered the same day. And all this was done even way before e-commerce also came in, right? So in jewelry also, same day delivery, and that actually gives a lot of customers that satisfaction of getting it quickly, and also makes inventory a lot more, the inventory utilization, etc., a lot more efficient. And you can even walk into the store, place an order that will get delivered directly to your home. So I'm saying all the confluence of online and offline has come together very, very beautifully in our business. And that actually shows in all the numbers also. We continue to grow very, very strongly in new users also, which have grown from 390,000 to almost 770,000. And despite that very strong growth in new users, the percentage contribution from repeat revenues has also gone significantly high, although 45%, it's kind of growing very, very strongly. Design-led approach, we launch a lot of designs. We have that number in the slide also. So we have set up multiple dedicated design studios where designers are free to actually experiment a lot, create a lot more differentiated designs, etc. We have 7,400 plus designs on the website. We have total 91 collections. We have wide range, all the way from 5,000 to almost 17 lakh rupees. Our merchandising approach is very, very differentiated from the company, which gives very high throughput, which enables very high throughput for us. All the restocking and everything is actually done using machine learning algorithms, etc. We don't rely on kind of taking manual decisions. We don't do that a lot in our company. Algorithms and machines actually decide a lot on what design will sell in which store, what design will sell online, etc., etc. One of the things that we are always focused on, since we were online only, was the entire visualization part of it. We realized very early on that as people are consuming those designs, and by consuming I don't mean buying. By consuming I mean interacting with those designs, getting to know those designs better, getting to know jewelry better. As people were engaging more and more with our catalog, one of the strongest realization was that it's not just the design that needs to be beautiful; it's the presentation also that has to be top notch. In the end, what customers see is the sum product of design and how beautifully it is presented. So we lay a lot of emphasis on creating very beautiful visualizations. A lot of this uses cutting-edge 3D technology to render these pieces, whether in photos, videos, or whatsoever. And we started that journey in 2012 itself, and we realized that just a simple plain catalog photography is not going to cut it. That's okay for shoes, apparel, and lots of other categories. But when it comes to jewelry, camera is not just. Camera actually finds it very difficult to photograph these pieces beautifully. Given the nature of the product, so gold is a reflecting surface, diamond is a refracting surface. It's just, and then you have to take that photograph at a 10x, 20x zoom. So you just never will get a beautiful photo of that piece, a photo that will actually entice you enough for you to want to buy it. So we invested heavily in 3D techniques to actually to render those products, to render those designs exactly how they are, and as beautifully as they actually look in the physical world. So all these photos, etc., that you see, These are all done in using 3D rendering techniques, and we continue to remain one of the best in the world when it comes to presenting jewelry beautifully. And quite honestly, I think if you look at the number of people who are buying in a particular day versus the number of people who are looking at those designs on that particular day, the number of people looking at those designs or getting enticed by those designs would be significantly higher, maybe 1,000, 10,000 times more. Right? So I'm saying that digital catalog needs to do its job properly before things move into the physical world. I spoke about the integrated technology stack, and the slide actually depicts it. The advantage of having everything homegrown is that you can actually link things very, very seamlessly. I'll give you an example. So let's say if you're browsing from here and you place an order for an earring, and let's say that earring is present in a store, as soon as you order, that earring is invoiced to you, which means that if someone is standing in that store with that earring in the hand, and she says that I want to buy it, she can't buy it. It's just many of the companies would struggle with such a small use case also. They would use Excel sheet to say that, okay, at the end of the day, why don't you sell this earring, only to realize that that earring is already gone, you double booked it, etc., etc. And that leads to a lot of dissatisfaction, etc. None of that is the case with us. For us, website, point of sale, even if you order something, and if you don't have that in inventory, we then manufacture it. We have just-in-time manufacturing capabilities. That manufacturing starts within hours. So all the way from placing the order on the website, for website to detect that, okay, this is not a physical, we don't have physical inventory for this particular catalog, so we need to place an order in the factory. All that things happen seamlessly. No one has to, there's no manual intervention. When people say that, okay, these are the 300 products that need to be manufactured tomorrow, let's do this, and then things falling through the cracks. None of that happens, and which actually leads to very high net promoter scores and very high customer satisfaction also. So we use technology very, very extensively throughout. So for both the things, for process efficiency, we have been using it a lot, and over time, over the last 3-4 years, as the state of artificial intelligence and machine learning also as that picked up the pace, a lot of decision making also right now is kind of done by machines, done by these algorithms and machine learning protocols. Vertically integrated business model, already spoke about it, all the way from retail to manufacturing to designing, everything is vertically integrated. Our store presence is very extensive, unlike many players in this category who spend years building their presence and building their strengths in a particular region, and then kind of start expanding from that nucleus outwards, like some jeweler from South India, having spent 10-12 years only in South India, they're expanding, or someone from East India trying to expand. Ours was not the case. We started online and we stayed pan-India. So we have a national identity. Looking at us, someone from North does not say you're a South Indian jeweler, or someone from South does not say you're a North Indian jeweler. So we have a very nationalistic identity, and that is actually reflected in our store distribution as well as store performance also, which is pan-India. So across regions, we continue to deliver very strong numbers. And I think another thing that we have started noticing lately was, so when we started expanding, we started with tier 1 metros, etc. For obvious reasons that it would be just easier to kind of manage it. And as we started growing our distribution to tier 2, tier 3, etc. as well. What we noticed was kind of a little surprising to us also, but very comforting, was that even tier 2, tier 3 cities were performing, the stores in tier 2, tier 3 cities were performing at par with a lot of tier 1 stores. So we saw, and then I think in hindsight we have this understanding that the role that internet is playing, or the amount of engagement that is there on internet platforms in even tier 2, tier 3 cities is pretty strong. So that the pull that that platform creates for our tier 1 or metro stores, the similar pull it is able to create for tier 2, tier 3 cities also. In many of these cases, see, this category is something which is fundamentally there in all tiers of the city. This is not a product which is a metro product. Jewelry in India is very, very cultural. Everyone has always bought jewelry. So when we go to a tier 2, tier 3 city, it's not that we need to grow the category. The category is already there. All we need to do is actually give them a different way of consuming this category. So basically, if you're buying it once in 2 years, does not mean you cannot be informed about the category. before internet, before we came along, what happened was, let's say if you're going to buy a jewelry once in 5 years, you would have never seen any jewelry catalog in those 5 years. The first time you'll be seeing it in that 5 years is when you walk into that store. And there will be, okay, acha, ye design bhi hoti hai, okay, this is also there, okay, there are three type of earrings, etc. Right? So that discovery, that wow happens. But then you're also forced to buy within half an hour. So before you could actually educate yourself, before you can actually experience that category, before you could actually educate yourself enough in that category, you have to make a purchase. You cannot spend 5 days in a jewelry store telling that, okay, I'll buy after 15 days, but I just want to walk into this jewelry store every day, and you just keep telling me kya hai, kya hai, kya hai. It doesn't happen in offline world, but in online you can do that. So a lot of that is happening, and a lot of that is actually strengthening, and all these things are applicable in tier 2, tier 3 cities also, and that's why we continue to see very strong growth across tiers. So this is one of the most important slides, one of the most important data point to understand our business. Typically, what happens is, as you guys are already aware, that we have very strong same-store sales growth. So our stores continue to grow. I think one of the questions I keep getting asked is, what does it look typically for a mature store? And my answer is, we don't have a mature store. All the stores are still growing. If a store is growing at 20% plus SSSG, it's not a mature. It might be an old store, but it's not a mature store. So essentially, when we look at unit economics, the right way to look at it is some of the oldest stores, what kind of unit economics are they delivering? Because of the way we grew, so we opened 5 stores in FY19, then we opened 11 in FY20, then 18 in FY21, and after that 41, after that 77. So if you look at the store growth, is kind of exponential. And hence, the overall, the blended unit economics that we see is highly biased, or it's highly biased by the unit economics of a newer store. But the newer stores typically would easily grow at very strong pace over 3-4 years and start producing that operating leverage. So some of the stores where that operating leverage is more visible are the stores which are open in FY19, FY20. So for those stores, when we look at the unit economics, we see we do close to almost 1 crore almost 10 crore in revenues, and this is this past year's data. These stores were still growing. So we're doing almost close to 10 crore of revenue, and that was delivering almost 23% of store level EBITDA. And this after store rental cost and so on. At a blended level, the store level EBITDA would be a much smaller number, because most of the stores will take, some stores will take 2 more years to reach there, some stores will take 3 more years to reach there, some stores will take 4 more stores to reach there. And the number of stores which are younger is significantly higher than the number of stores which are older. We are in a very fast growth phase. That is the reason. Key managerial people, we are unlike most of the companies in this segment except Titan, which are family-driven companies or family-driven businesses. Ours has always been a very professionally driven, professionally managed company. So I'm myself a professional. I have no prior family background in jewelry or any business for that matter. I've done graduation from IIT Delhi with computer science. Umid, who's our CFO, is with us today. He's also done management from JP Morgan. He has been a professional all his life. My co-founder Sudeep, he's from IIM Ahmedabad. This was almost his first job. He worked at Lotha Group for around a year before joining BlueStone, and he has been with me since 2012, since the beginning. And here's also, so Sudeep is there, then Vipin, who takes care of merchandise and design. He's also graduated from SPJ and started his career from Titan. He was one of the co-founders for Yesterday also. So he has been also, and beyond that also, if you look at Nikhil, who's our Chief Product Officer, he's my junior from IIT Delhi. If you look at Harshit, who manages our manufacturing, he's also from IIT Madras. He spent his career in ITC taking care of manufacturing. Tarun takes care of engineering. Gaurav Sachdeva came from Bestseller Group, and so on. So it's just it's a highly, I think it's a highly organized, highly professionally run company. And the team is essentially what powers all the growth of the strength. So some of the key facets of the business: fastest growing on all factors at an overall level, very strong CAGR. More importantly, at the same store sales growth level, the growth is very strong with very strong margins in unit economics. Market leaders, I think we have some catch up to do with CaratLane per se, but we are growing much faster, and we're still number 2, and then there's no number 3. And it was from the very beginning, it was CaratLane and us who have been kind of growing in this market and shaping this market. Leading brand, we have done multiple brands. So we've done multiple brand surveys, etc. I think we've been around for long. We have always been very, very strong online. We are among the top 3 brands when it comes to customer repeats, and these repeat numbers are still growing very, very rapidly. 275 stores, digitally native company, and very strong handle of design. Q&A. I will take my seat and I'll answer the questions.